So when did the seeds of Khalistan get sown? You want to take a guess? 1870. Why did we choose that number 1870? Well, it turns out that when there was the first war of independence that took place in 1857, the Sikh kings actually supported the British, and the British were grateful to the kings for their support in putting down the first war of independence by India. And therefore, what they did was that they essentially replaced the Bengali troops in the British army with people from Punjab, consisting of both Sikhs as well as Muslims. Suddenly, in the Indian army, the composition of the people representing the Indian army changed from Bengalis to the Punjabis, consisting of Sikhs and Muslims. In fact, the British went so far to call the people who lived in that area as a martial race, and then they started building up from there on. So what happened next? Not all Sikhs would be taken by the British. Only those who adopted the 5 Ks, that means wearing a khalsa, a turban, and so on and so forth, only those Sikhs were allowed into the army. I'm talking about the 1860s, that time frame. Now, what happened after that? In 1898, Kahan Singh Nabha's book, Ham Hindu Nahin was published. A vitriolic appraisal of Hinduism. It focused on why Sikhs are not Hindus. Even today, I sometimes encounter this discussion where some of my Sikh friends say, we are not Hindus. Well, we are Hindus, we are all Sanatanis. There is no word called Hindus, guys. If you have to really apply the word Hindu, that would mean these are people actually today in Pakistan, because Hindus or Sindhus are people who used to inhabit the area that used to be called as Sapta Sindhu. And because the traders who came from Arabia couldn't say Sa, they ended up saying Hindus. So those people who were in this region were called Hindus. So let's not get there. Let's stay back on this topic. Now, in 1881 to 1931, this was a 50-year period, large numbers of Hindus became Sahajadari Sikhs who were baptized to become the Khalsa. Consequently, the Sikh population increased. Also remember, this is because of the condition that I told you, that the British would only hire those in the army who were following all the 5 Ks. So there are many types of Sikhs. I don't know enough, but I can tell you there are Nirankari, there are Namdhari, and so on and so forth. Don't tell me I missed out something. I'm just trying to illustrate the point that there are more than one type of the Sikh. What is the word Sikh? It comes from the Siksha, from Sanskrit word Siksha, or a Siksh, means somebody who is a learner or a disciple. And they were supposed to be disciples of Guru Nanak. Now, in 1905, Golden Temple, which used to have the idols of Ram and many other murtis, these were all removed as a result of pressure applied by the Singh Sabha. This should have been stopped at that point by the British. If they thought they were secular, they should have maintained the sanctity. Even today, many Hindus go to Golden Temple. It is a place of pilgrimage. Just like you would go to Rameshwar or Varanasi, you go to the Golden Temple. It is not Golden Gurudwara, guys. It is Golden Temple. And it is Amrit Saras. And there is a story behind how this word Amrit Saras came about. There are 3 or 4 important references that I'm going to provide you as part of this video in the description, and be sure to read them because you'll get a much more detailed, in-depth account of what I am trying to give you by the way of timeline. 1925, the Sikh Gurudwara Act was passed. This was the beginning of intertwining of politics and religion. In 1940, the Akali Dal chief Master Tara Singh opposes the idea of Pakistan. He says Sikhs would press for Azad Punjab, later which became Khalistan, with parts of Lahore and Multan included. Multan is, by the way, Moolistan. 1957, Akalis start to demand a state where Punjabi in Gurmukhi script would be the state language, and there would be consequently a Hindu-Sikh decide on which language constituted the mother tongue, Hindi or Punjabi. This paved way for the creation of the state of Haryana. I'm not again, going to debate on whether that was the right move or not, but again, this linguistic separation. Everything was a single state of Punjab. Then Haryana got hived out of Punjab. Very sad. If you go back and look at it, these were all the reasons why things are where they are today. In 1981, a US-based Khalistan ideologue, 𝗥𝗲𝗬𝗀 Singh Dhillon, raises the demand for Khalistan. In 1981 again, Punjab police arrest 𝗥𝗲𝗬𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 Taksal Jathedar Jarnail Singh Bhindarwala. He was freed a month later. In 1982, Akali leaders such as Harcharan Singh Longowal and Prakash Singh Badal launched the Dharm Yudh Morcha with Bhindarwala for implementation of the Anandpur Sahib resolution. You know, Bhindarwala's rise is supposed to be connected to the establishment of the Akali Dal as the ruling party. I think in the 17 or 1980, there were elections at that time. The Akalis came to power, and the Congress at the center decided that there had to be somebody who could be a counterweight to the Akali Dal, and that's how Bhindarwala was propped up by them until he became somebody that they could not control, and hence the assassination. There's one timeline incident here that I have to mention. In 1983, the superintendent of police, SP, I think it was SP, his name was Atwal. This poor guy, he was going to Golden Temple to pray, and he was gunned down right inside the premises of the Golden Temple. At that point of time, Bhindarwala had not taken up residence inside the Golden Temple complex. They could have easily apprehended him, and a lot of the things that happened afterwards perhaps could have been avoided. But think about it, there were so many people who lost their lives. They are also Sikhs. What about them? Anyway, let's continue now. In 1984, the Indian Army conducted Operation Blue Star at the Golden Temple. Bhindarwala is killed, and in just a few months later, Indira Gandhi is assassinated by her own Sikh bodyguards, after which the anti-Sikh riots began in Delhi. Satwant Singh and Behan Singh were the two. In fact, the way they had planned it was they would first kill her from front and the back. They shot at her from front and the back. Then they turned the gun on each other. One died during that. I think Satwant Singh survived. Behan Singh died, I think. At any rate, Rajiv Gandhi became the Prime Minister. In 1985, Rajiv Longowal Accord was signed, but within 3 weeks, Longowal was killed in August 1985. And therefore, I don't think that accord has also been implemented. We have the Anandpur Sahib resolution that has not been implemented. We have the Rajiv Longowal Accord that has not been implemented. And then in 1994, insurgency was really, really high. Militants were targeting security agencies and Hindus. The police crackdown is then led by Super Cop Julio Ribeiro and then KPS Gill. In 1985 to 1995, the Punjab police under KPS Gill and supported by other armed forces under the political leadership of Congress chief Behan Singh break the back of the terror movement. This 1994 for insurgency is, I don't think that is correct. Insurgency has been going on since 1982. So I take that back. Now, in 1995, Punjab Chief Minister Behan Singh was killed by Khalistani militants. But then things kind of settled down. From 1995 to 1997, Badal rebrands the Akali Dal as a secular party, allies with the BJP to sweep the 1997 assembly poll and begin sidelining radicals in his own party. And things were relatively stable. But if you take a look at the kill count, how many people have died between 1981 to 2016, 21,660 people died. Of these, 11,787 were civilians, 8,107 were terrorists, and 1,746 were security forces, including the police. So a lot of people have died, a lot of bloodshed has happened, and if this government is not careful, something similar, I'm afraid, may happen, because there's a lot of money now being pumped into this, a lot of tensions, a lot of elevated emotions. And its most important thing is that both sides need to understand, I think more, my opinion, the Sikhs, because they need to understand that they are nothing but a Veer version of Hindus. They were there to try and stop the invasions that used to happen from the 8th century all the way up to the 16th, 17th century from the western side. And this is why this community evolved. Anyway, Guru Gobind Singh was a Durga Upasak. I can go on, guys. Many of you know this thing. You are just in denial. I'm talking to my Sikh brethren who have or espouse the idea of Khalistan. Think about it. Reflect. This is not something that needs to be worried about. If you really think that it is still needed, you need to be able to say why. Political blunder shouldn't become something like leading to a state. That is my 2 cents. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.